Hello, fifth graders, and welcome back to another The Math Show with Miss Conry. I'm excited about today's lesson because we're jumping into one of my favorite concepts, which is multiplying fractions. Before we get started, though, I want to remind you that we have some norms, and to make sure that as you're working with your families at home or maybe by yourself, that your attitude is everything. And it's going to either make what you're doing at home feel good or not so good. So remember to have a positive attitude and to be respectful to your families or whoever's helping you, including older siblings. Keep on trying, even when it's hard. This stuff is not meant to be easy. It's meant to push your thinking. And then remember that word yet. I don't know it yet, but you will. With more practice. So today we're going to jump right into our learning target, which is I can use an area model to multiply fractions. And the reason, so families, if you're watching, you're going to probably remember how to multiply fractions in a pretty quick way. And that strategy that you learned, the kids are going to pick up on it. And also, it's going to be revisited in 6th grade, and they'll get to just do the shortcut. But right now, we're really working on understanding what it means to multiply fractions so that we really have a solid picture in our mind of why the quick and easy strategy works. So you're going to find this in your packet. It's the Unit 5 Module 3 packet. It's the one that got mailed home this week. And it's on page 184 and 185. You're going to see a lot of area models. We have two vocabulary words that I'd like to discuss before we get started. Linear measurement and area measurement. And we need to really be pretty flexible in understanding these terms because they're going to be really helpful for figuring out this area model. So linear measurement, kids, if you remember, we've talked about how it's the measurement of a line. You can see the word line in linear. Okay, it's the measurement from this point to this point. So for instance, if I measured this line, well, it's not exactly 3 inches, but I could label it 3 inches and we can pretend. And then also the area measurement is the inside space. So it's not the measurement of a line, it's the measurement of how much space is inside a two-dimensional shape. And we measure those in square units. Okay, so we're gonna try and do some work around multiplying fractions using an area model. And this is a review. We were doing this right before we left for staying at home. So we're gonna try this one. It's 2/3 times 3/4, and we're gonna try and figure out the answer. And again, families, I know you might know the trick for getting the answer really fast, but we're gonna work on using that area model. So the first thing I need to do is, since I know that multiplication is a way that we find the area of a space, that's why we can use an area model. So we can pretend that this is a space that is a 2/3 by 3/4 rectangle, okay? Which means that I need to set up my linear dimensions, kind of like putting a fence around a garden. And one side of the fence is going to be 2/3, maybe yard, and the other side of the fence is going to be 3/4 of a yard. That would be a very small garden, but we'll go with it. So I'm gonna do, it doesn't really matter which way you start, but I'm gonna make a line that goes all the way. Since 2/3 is less than 1, I'm just gonna make it go to 1 right now, okay? But my garden is not gonna go all the way over to 1. It's just gonna go 2/3 of the way. So since the denominator is 3, I need to divide my line into 3 equal parts. So this is 1/3, and this is 2/3. So my fence is just gonna go to the 2/3 line, okay? And then I'm gonna go down 3/4. So again, since 3/4 is less than 1, I'm gonna go all the way to the 1 so that I can show what 3/4 actually looks like. And since 4 is the denominator, that means there's going to be 4 equal pieces in the whole. This is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Okay. So now we have our linear dimensions of our garden, or I don't know what it is. But we're going to go ahead and try and figure out what area that space would take up. So to do that, I'm going to actually use these marks to go all the way across and all the way down. So it looks something like that. And then I'm going to fill in the space that my measurements take up. So if I were to put a fence around the garden, it would go all the way over to this side. You can see it's 2/3 by 3/4. Okay, so now I've got that area sectioned out, and I know that it can't be a whole square unit because this is a whole square unit. So now I have to figure out how much space I just colored in. And I see that I colored in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. Okay, so 6 sections will be my numerator, and my denominator is going to be how many sections were in the whole. So if I look, I can actually see that there's 3, 3, 3, and 3. In fact, there's 3 4 times, so that's going to be 12 whole sections. Okay, so the answer to what is the area of my section here in this is 6/12, which means that 2/3 times 3/4 is equal to 6/12. And kids, as you're doing this, I want you to really look at where is this numerator coming from, and is it connected in any way to these numerators here? And where's the denominator coming from? And is it connected here? And then can you show those relationships down here? What's really important as you work through these problems is that you make sure to label the linear dimensions, and also make sure that you shade in that section and label it with the area. All right, I hope this makes sense to you. If it doesn't for any reason, we're also going to be meeting on Teams next week to discuss how to do more of these problems and to work through some of them together. Good luck.